Hello and welcome to Dental Studies Simplified. I am Dr. Ankita Kotecha and today is the final video on the topic minimally invasive surgery. In today's topic, we will discuss the decision making and several flowcharts regarding the selection of the technique, that is minimally invasive surgery. The various techniques described under this banner, minimally invasive surgery. So, as per the original article that we are discussing for today's video by Cortellini himself once again, Journal of Evidence-Based Dental Practice 2012 by Cortellini. In this original article, he has discussed several flowcharts regarding the choice of the technique and the choice of grafting material and the choice of suturing respectively in a sequential manner. So the first point to be considered is regarding the surgical access. So when it comes to surgical access, there are two things to consider, that is the interdental space width, clear, interdental, and the second factor is whether it is a terminal tooth or not. So now if it is a terminal tooth, we give crestal incision, and based on the interdental width, if it is broader, that is greater than 2 mm, we go for MPPT, and if it is a narrower, that is less than or equal to 2 mm, we go for SPPF, that is strongly indicated ones. Clear? For the surgical access, based on the interdental width, if it is a wider interdental space, MPPT, if it is a narrower interdental space, SPPF, and if it is a terminal tooth, an add-on incision will be crestal incision. Clear till now? Now the next point to be considered is the flap design. So now that the incision design is considered, the completed, now we consider flap design. For the flap design, we check the defect anatomy's extent, the location. Clear? So the location of the defect anatomy. If the defect in anatomy involves 1/3 of the roots, or if it is a bigger one, that is involving 3/4 of the roots and very severe. Clear? So, if it is a smaller defect involving 1/3 of the root surface, the next question is cleansable from buccal. That is whether the defect is accessible and cleansable from the buccal aspect. Why this question? Because if yes, then we accept or we choose modified MIST. Modified MIST in which the defect is approached from a single aspect, and that single aspect is preferably buccal aspect. But if the defect, although involving 1/3 of the root surface, if it is not cleansable from buccal aspect, means the extension is more towards the palatal or lingual aspect, then we choose MIST, in which both the aspects, both the flaps are reflected and manipulated. Clear? Now if the defect extension is severe, that is involving 3/4 of the root surface, if it's a bigger defect, then minimally invasive surgery is quite not possible. In that case, we choose extended flap. Clear? Based on the flap design, we check the defect extension, the location of the defect. The two things. Extension, that is if it involves 1/3 of the roots or more than that is 3/4 of the roots and very severe one. If it is a tiny defect, the question is the location. Where is the defect located? Cleansable from buccal aspect or not? If yes, then we perform modified MIST in which only buccal flap is raised. But if it is not cleansable from the buccal aspect, means it is more towards palatal or lingual aspect, we perform MIST in which both the flaps are reflected. But if the defect is a bigger one and it is widespread, that is located 3/4 of the roots and severe, then extended flap is our choice. Clear till now? The two flow charts. First is the surgical axis. Second is the flap design. Remember till here, these three flap designs are now our choice based on the factors considered. Now the third flow chart is the selection of grafting material, and the fourth flow chart is suturing. So for the grafting, remember in the previous flow chart we had three options: MIST, MIST and extended flap. Clear? Now if MIST is performed, the question to be asked in any case will be same, whether it is containing defect or non-containing defect. For MIST there is no confusion. We know that it is involving 1/3 of the roots and it is cleansable from buccal aspect. So there are two options. Either you perform or you don't perform. If you perform, the choice of material of choice is endogen, or either you don't perform, that is no regenerative performed. Clear? And in MIST, it involves 1/3 of the roots but not cleansable from the buccal aspect. The question is whether the defect is containing or not. If it is containing, endogen is the material of choice. If it is non-containing, means we have to add some other material so that this endogen stays in place. Endogen otherwise is gel. So in case of a non-containing defect, the grafting material of choice is endogen plus a bone graft material. Clear? And for the extended flap, again the question asked will be same: containing or non-containing defect. Again, if it is containing, endogen is the material of choice, but if it is non-containing, so remember it involves 3/4 of the root surface or it may be very severe and it is non-containing. So here we may use barriers and graft, or endogen and graft, whichever suitable for the case particularly. Clear? The third flow chart is regarding the choice of grafting material based on the technique that is selected from the previous flow chart. So if it is modified MIST, means involving 1/3 of the roots and cleansable from buccal aspect, either we perform or we don't perform. If we perform, we use endogen, and we don't perform at all. In case of MIST, which involves 1/3 of the root surface but not cleansable from buccal aspect, if it is containing, endogen; if it is non-containing, endogen and graft material. And in case of extended flap, which involves 3/4 of the root surface and may be very severe, if it is a containing defect, endogen works there, but if it is non-containing, we may use barriers as well. Clear? Now, based on these selection of grafting material, we decide the suturing technique. For the suturing, if it is MIST, if it is MIST, or even if it is a containing defect accessed by this extended flap, we perform single internal mattress suture or even modified mattress sutures. But if it is extended flap with non-containing defect, we go for double internal mattress sutures. This is the suturing technique of choice. Clear? So 4 factors to be considered: surgical access based on the interdental space width and the location of the tooth, that is terminal or non-terminal, followed by second, flap design based on the location and extent of the defect. Third is choice of grafting material or the regenerative strategy based on the nature of the defect, whether containing or non-containing. And finally, based on the above all factors, the suturing technique. So with this topic for today's video and this entire series, minimally invasive surgery, is complete. I hope these techniques, all these techniques and the flow charts regarding the selection of the method is clear to you all. But if you still have any doubts or any queries, feel free to ask me in the comment section below or mail it to my email ID dentalstudiessimplified@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and listening to me. Study well. Have a good day. Stay safe.